I'm making a great appetizer that you can have before a dinner or just with a lot of other small plates and some drinks. This is going to be a roasted tomato and smoked mozzarella crostini. A crostini is just a thinner slice of a baguette, and a bruschetta is usually a little bit thicker. I'm going to toast this bread in the oven and then give it a swipe of garlic. You're going to really love this. It's so different and so refreshing. You'll want to have this at your next get-together. I have about 14 ounces of grape tomatoes. I'm putting them in a bowl, and now I'm going to take some extra virgin olive oil and I'm going to dress them. Drizzle it all over. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of a pool of olive oil in the bottom. That's going to work really well later on. Now I'm going to salt and pepper them, about a teaspoon of salt and quite a few grinds of a good black pepper. Stir them all up and get them really mixed, and get yourself a cookie sheet to put them on. You're going to put these in a preheated oven that's about 425 degrees and add that little bit of olive oil. You don't want too much in there, but this is just right. Spread them all out, and now you're going to roast them for maybe about 25 minutes. Every oven is different, and you're going to take them out when they're all caramelized and collapsed and a little bit blackened on top. I have some smoked mozzarella, and it's very easy to find. If you can't, you can always buy another smoked cheese. Gouda might be a little too powerful, but this just gives it a really unique flavor. I'm going to take this and I'm going to grate it now because it melts much better on the toasted bread that way. I have a box grater, and I'm going to use the side with the large holes. I love box graters, as you know from my past videos. It's just as a multitasker, and it's not very expensive. So you can see I shredded the mozzarella. I have maybe about a good cup. Don't worry if you make a little extra, you can use it for something else. Now I have a nice French baguette, and I like to cut it at an angle. You're going to get a longer piece out of it. So here I go, and I only want about a half-inch wide piece because that's a crostini. Bruschettas are usually a little bit thicker. You'll want to set your oven at about 400 degrees, and you don't have to oil or do anything to your cookie sheet. Just place your crostini on it. We're not going to toast both sides. We just want to get it a little bit crispy. If you like it a little browner, you can put it under the broiler. I'm peeling a large garlic clove, and I'm going to use this to rub on the toasted crostini. It really enhances the flavor and just makes it so good. When they come out of the oven, you see these aren't really dark, it doesn't matter, but they're nice and firm, and I'm going to rub the garlic on them, and the flavor is just going to be wonderful. Once that's all done, then you're going to put your shredded smoked mozzarella on top of each crostini piece. Really pile it on. I probably should have used parchment paper here, but I really enjoyed eating those little pieces of cheese that burnt on the bottom. And here are the roasted tomatoes coming out of the oven, and they're all caramelized. You could even do this ahead of time. So the crostini are coming out of the oven now, and that mozzarella is all melted and ready for assembly. And now it's time to put these together. You wouldn't believe the smell of that beautiful melted smoked mozzarella. It's just such a game changer as a cheese to use on something like this. So you want to get some plates together for your guests. And usually I start people with about 2 per person. I'm going to garnish with a little bit of fresh basil. My other garnish is going to be with a balsamic glaze. These are so easy to find now. I buy them in my local grocery store. There's all kinds of brands. You can probably find them online if you're not in an area that sells them. But they're a thickened and reduced balsamic vinegar, and they really hold up. Instead of having your balsamic vinegar just fade into a dish, if you want to garnish, you got to get this, and they're not that expensive either. And they have different flavors like strawberry and raspberry infused, lemon, anything under the sun, truffle, I think. So let's make a plate. Put a couple of your crostini on a nice little plate. You can see that I'm also going to be eating those pieces of crusted cheese. Now I'm going to add some of my beautiful roasted tomatoes on each one. And if there's a little bit of olive oil that's on the cookie sheet, you can see that I'm grabbing that and just doing a little drizzle. So make these up fresh. They don't really do well if you make them up ahead of time. And now you're ready for the garnishes. So we're going to take our reduced balsamic vinegar and we're going to drizzle it back and forth to make it really pretty on each piece. So now have your fresh basil nearby, and you really want to use a scissor. It just helps so much and it's so easy. And just snip off little tiny pieces to cover your crostini with. I've made these so many times for my company and even for myself, and I just can't get over how good they are. It's time to serve, and these are just the best thing before a dinner, or even if you're grilling outside and you just want something really nice to have before you eat. So I hope you make these soon, and I really hope you enjoy them. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll also find me on Facebook at Diane's World Cooking for your recipes, as I mentioned before, and I'm also on Instagram and on TikTok. Thanks for watching.